Shema Yisrael, you're kidding. No, I wouldn't kid about such a thing. What, he was found dead? What is she doing? Is she somehow jinxing her husband? What is she doing? That she caused that death? Is she a katlanit? Everyone says yes. Dina's a katlanit. A katlanit is somebody, a lady, who let's say was widowed 2-3 times, that many have a reason to assume that her mazal is so bad that it caused terrible danger to her husband. People wondered, people talked, people couldn't figure out. Some people said this can't be happening. Other people said, Chazita, what can you do? Will she ever get married? But listen, now, when you looked at her, tears were coming down her face. Her father, he said, what was it, doctor? Was it the food? Doctor said, no, it's not the food. He said, what was it? What could it have been that killed him? The doctor said, I don't know, he looked like a very fine, strong, sturdy, healthy man. So what is it, doctor? Doctor, tell me what it is. This is crazy. What happened to my daughter? What am I going to explain to her? She wants answers. What medical answer could there be? The doctor said, I don't think I have a medical explanation. I have no idea. But I'll tell you one thing. I think you might have a very hard time finding a husband for her in this city. I think you'll have to go to another city if you ever want to see her get married. And it turns out, wherever she would walk, she was embarrassed. She had nothing to be embarrassed about. What was it, her fault? Her husband died? Was it? Maybe? Was it? But people would say, there she is. There's the widow. The bride, the widow. She was twice a bride and twice widowed the night of her wedding. She didn't know what to do. She took a Tehillim, and every day she would say the whole Tehillim with tears torrenting from her eyes. People wondered what would be her fate. And it turns out, no one at all tried to get married to her. Nobody asked for her hand in marriage. No shadchanim, matchmakers, would mention her name on the list of available young girls, and her fate looked worse every day. She was a strong girl, so she had bitachon that things will work out. Everything somehow mysteriously is for the good, for the best. She would say her Tehillim. She would try somehow to be nicer to people, to do teshuvah, somehow to learn Torah more. Even though ladies don't have the regular mitzvah of Torah, they do have a mitzvah to learn the Torah, the laws that apply to them, like Hilchot Shabbat, the laws of Shabbat, the laws of Kashrut, and the like. And it was right that week that she was sitting in the garden that her father planted, that suddenly she saw a man in the distance coming. A man, a poor-looking man, a tall boy, very skinny, scrawny. And he comes, and he says, is this my Uncle Usher's house? And she says, this is Usher's house. What do you mean, my uncle? Who are you? He said, well, I'm Shimon's son. Shimon? My father's brother? You're my father's brother. Where's your family? First time she smiled since her wedding. Sometimes panim chadashot, when you see a new person, it brings you happiness. She was shocked. She said, come. And she took him into her father. And her father was wondering, boy, I haven't seen you smile since the tragedies. But he didn't say that to his daughter. He just thought that in his mind. And he looked and he said, who are you? He said, pleased to meet you, but I'm your nephew. He said, well, whose son? My brother or my sister? He said, I'm Shimon's oldest son. Really? How many sons does he have? A lot. That's why I'm here. He has too many sons to support. And wait, my friend, come into the house. Before he could even finish saying why he came, his father pulled him and said to his wife, look here, look, Sabrina. What's her name? I didn't even know that was her name. Oh, that's my wife, and that's Ador Zina, and that, oh, look, here, take out some wine, here, drink, oh, have a seat on this couch, oh, maid, servant, help this man to his room, take his bag, get a little tiny bag, 3 people holding that little tiny bag. It turns out, they come, they take him to the room, and he's so happy, and the whole week, they were just talking memories of his fathers growing up together with him, and how Galut had, taken them apart from each other, like so many families. In those times, they didn't have fax machines or internet to stay in touch with people and friends. They didn't have any telephones or express meals. Meals were usually a gamble. Would it get there? Would the letter postage get there? So many postals would get lost. It turns out, even when you sent a letter in the olden times, it cost so much money. But the only time you ever kept in touch with your family in the olden times was if there was very, very good news or very, very bad news. And the saying used to be, no news is good news. Like if they don't say anything, okay, that's good enough. As long as, probably everyone's okay, right? And in those times, a lot of times people would have babies and their relatives wouldn't even know. Because it was too hard to get the message. Sometimes a person would travel from that country. Of course, you'd fill them in with a letter. But it wasn't as at all like today, where you could, we frequently call. And the truth is, I'll tell you the truth, it's even sad, because even nowadays, people don't call their family as much as they could and should. People don't stay in touch like they really should. They took a test, statistics, how often do people call their mother or father, brother and sister to say hello, how are you? The statistics were sad. It was once every 4 weeks, once every 7 weeks, once every 3 weeks, once every 11 weeks. And it turns out that it was a very, very happy week for everyone. Till finally, as the boy put everything together, he got the picture of the family. He heard of the terrible tragedies that happened past couple years with Dinah, where one husband after the other had to suffer the loss of his life. Yechezkel, he turned to his uncle and said, Uncle, so now let me tell you why I'm here. His uncle said, okay, tell us the full story now. And he said, I was wondering, how come, for a whole week you didn't let me tell you why I'm here. You keep telling me about what's been going on by you, but I really want to tell you that, well, you know what? Really, my father sent me here. Well, he felt a little bit embarrassed. Should he ask for the money? Shouldn't he ask for the money? He felt funny. So he said, family's doing well, but, I want to ask you something, but I know you're going to say no, so I won't ask you. I said, come on, my nephew. Don't be silly. Speak your heart's desire. I know you might say no, so I don't want to, you're probably going to say no, so whatever. Just basically, I'm visiting. I said, no, come on, what's bothering you? What do you really need? He said, well, I'll tell you if you promise you won't say no. He said, okay, nephew, I won't say no. I said, okay, can I marry Dina? He thought to himself, he had mixed feelings. On one hand, I wish someone would marry Dina. I'd be more than happy. But on the other hand, she doesn't have to say Kaddish for you too. I mean, she doesn't have to keep her yard safe. He's worried. Her mazal is a very dangerous one. As a matter of fact, the story comes from Midrash Tanchumah, and the Midrash, I think it says that she married 3 times and her husband died. I'm not sure if it's 3 times or 2 times. People knew she's a dangerous species. And it turns out, he looked at his nephew and he said, it's not that I don't want you to marry her, I just don't feel that, I knew you'd say no. I knew you'd say no. And then, well, it's not that I want to, I can't, I mean, I could, but I don't want, I mean, I don't think, I mean, you think, I mean, maybe it's not, I mean, should you, I mean, it's not. He said, you said you wouldn't say no. He thought to himself, and he said, I guess, I'll ask her. He asked her. And as soon as he asked her, she also didn't know what to say. Of course she wants to, but, I mean, could she count on it? Could she really assume that everything will be well? She thought maybe we'll travel to a Mekubal, to a big Chassid, a big Tzaddik who could tell the secrets of the world. Probably he could tell what the reason for her torture was, for her pain and sorrow, for her loss. But the boy, he was so confident. He said, don't worry. Have emunah b'tachon that all will be well. Shomer mitzvah lo yeda davar ra. When you're doing mitzvah, you don't have to worry about getting hurt. It's a mitzvah to get married, especially when you're getting married l'shem shamayim for the mitzvah. You have nothing to worry about. No ra. She heard that. She saw the confidence in his eyes. She said to her father, please, Abba, let me. And he said, I mean, I would love to see you married there, but I don't know if, let me ask my brother. But again, communication was hard. How's he going to get the message to his brother? And he really wants to get married. And he already said, come on. He figured, I don't know if there's ever going to be anyone else that wants to marry my daughter. If finally someone asks for her hand in marriage, I better not be too picky or too choosy. I better agree. And he looked at his son, his nephew, and he said, it's like a gamble. I mean, it's like a possibility that, I mean, I don't want to say what would happen, but you know the consequences of this? And he said, please, have no fear. Shomer mitzvah lo yeda davar ra. He looked at his nephew's eyes. He said, I never thought I'd have a Talmid Chacham like you as a son-in-law. You learned so much with your father. I could tell. And I could see that he gave you a strong faith, a strong trust in Hashem, that you're not worried about what everyone else would be worried for. He looked at him, and he said, when would you like to make the date for the wedding? And he said, as soon as possible. So what about your family? Will they be able to come? And he said, they can't afford it, but I'll tell you the truth. Just let's get married, and my father will be more than happy. He said, okay, it's your cousin. You want to marry your cousin? All right. That sounds fine. Sounds okay, but I mean, are you sure you want? And it turns out, they set the date at a close time. And the great day of the wedding came, and this time, they didn't send out as many invitations as they did the other 2 times. Sometimes when something you show off too much, it's not good. You don't want ayin hara, chas v'shalom, eina bisha, someone being jealous, who might think, why does this person deserve that? Which is like a ketchuv, which could cause chas v'shalom shamayim, to judge that family if they deserve it. And right away, he looked at his father-in-law, and he told him, don't worry, invite people, but just don't show off. Let's not overdo it. Let's not be too extravagant. Let's not make a smorgasbord that has every delicacy thinkable. And it turns out, the boy, 3 days he went And he had Hitzbodedut. Hitzbodedut is time spent just with Hashem and no one else.